Hi guys, welcome back to Civical Saturday. In today's class, we are going to learn how to draft a basic bodice. So because we are drafting, we are going to need a drafting paper. We are going to need tape measure, a pen, and a paper scissors. I have two rulers, this long ruler and this short one. And then you're also going to need a French curve. Mine is in two pieces, but it still works. Then the measurements that you're going to need, because it is a bodice, you're going to need the bust, you're going to need the shoulder, you're going to need the waist, and the hips, and also the length. So let's get into it. Drafting paper, make sure the sides are sharp and they're equal. So what you're going to do, you're first going to start, this ruler is about 1 inch. You're going to put it here and draw a line, a straight line. So these sides, they can be used as the sewing allowance. The standard measurement from here to your bust is 10 inches. So you're going to mark at the 10 inches. From here to your waist is 16 inches. That is the standard. And then from here to your hips is 24 inches. Then you're going to label, this is the hips, waist, bust. This is the standard, but it can change depending on the size of the person. From here to your bust, 10 inches. From here to your waist, 16. From here to your hips, 24. From your bust to your waist is 6. From your waist to your hips is 8. So we are going to mark the measurements for the bust, waist, and hips. My measurements for the bust is 36. We are going to do 36 divided by 4, which is going to be 9. That is what we are marking here. 9. For the waist, the waist that I'm using is 31. Divide by 4, that is 7.5. For the hips that I'm using is 43. So that is going to be around 10.8. 10.7, if you round it up, 10.8. And then we are going to join these lines, these points. Come here at the top and mark the neck measurement, which is 3. And then from here, we are going to measure 5 for the shoulder. And because our shoulder is not straight, it's going to slant by 1 inch. And then you connect this point to this point. So we are going to mark 3 inches here. and then we connect for the neck. A basic draft, so it can be altered to your liking. So here you're going to take your curved ruler and draw a curve for the neck. So we are going to draw a straight line from here all the way to the bust. Then we are going to find the midpoint for this line. This line is 9 inches, so the midpoint is going to be 4.5. And then now we are going to draw our armhole. So we are going to come here and we are going to insert our darts. To find the dart, you can measure or you can calculate your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Mine is going to be at 4.5. So we are going to measure here 4.5 and mark. The distance for the dart is 1 inch, but from here we are going to go half and half to get the 1 inch. So half, half. The dart from the bust, it goes 1 inch below the bust, and at the hips it goes 2 inches above the hip. And then you're going to draw it out. From this, we have our basic bodice, but this is the front side. So if you're making for a dress, you're going to increase it depending on the length. If you're making for a top, you can stop here at the waist. Or if you're making for a jacket, it can go until here the hips. So now we are going to draft the back side. This is the front. And it is cut too. And over here, it can be on fold. But if you're making a top or a jacket that has an opening over here, it's not going to be on fold. So now let's make the back. So this is for the back side. We have done what we did for the front, the bust, waist and hips, and then we put the measurements over here. So there are going to be several changes, but on the parts that I've not marked for the back side. The first change is over here. We are going to measure 3, just as we did for the front. But for the downside, we are going to measure 1 inch. Then you're going to measure 5 inches. Then we drop it to 1 inch. Then we connect. Then you're going to drop this line. Then we are going to get the midpoint, which was at 4.5. So when you're making the armhole for the back side, the front is supposed to be deeper than the back side. So what you are going to do is this curve is going to stop at here, at this point, at the middle point. Then you are going to come and mark the dart, 4.5. Remember, half on this side, half on this side. For the back side, the dart starts here at the back and ends 2 inches above the hips. So this is the back. If you're going to include a zip, you're going to leave here, this space here for the zip allowance. So now we are going to include the allowance. But before we do that, we are going to compare the back and the front. The difference is at the dart, this dart goes all the way to the bust for the back side. The front side, it goes 1 inch below the bust. The other difference is at the armhole. For the back, the armhole goes, it does not go deep inside like the front. The front side, at the middle point, you can go in for about 1 centimeter. So the armhole for the front, it goes inside to accommodate the bust. The other difference is here at the neckline. For the back, the neckline goes deep by just 1 inch, but for the front, the neckline goes deep by 3 inches. And as you can see at the waist, I have curved a little bit, both at the front and at the back. I've curved a little bit because our bodies are not straight. That's why I've curved it over here. So now we are going to add allowance, sewing allowance, and then we cut. At the waist, we are going to take in this 1 inch for the dart. So we are going to add this 1 inch outside. Then we are going to add now the allowance all round. We are going to add 1 inch allowance all round. So starting from here, 1 inch. the back and the front. For the back, this allowance here is going to be the zip allowance, and then it's going to be cut two pieces. So for the front, the top that I am making, the zip is going to be at the back. So the front is going to be on fold. So we are going to remove this allowance. So this is going to be on fold. So because this is on fold, it is going to be cut 1. And this is how to draft a basic bodice, and then you can adjust it according to the style of whatever it is that you're making. So guys, we have come to the end of today's class. It was a simple project to make a bodice. I hope you have learned, I hope you have enjoyed, and if this is something that you enjoy and you learn from it, make sure to subscribe, make sure to give us a like. It really encourages us and supports our channel, and share it to someone else who will benefit from this. Till next time, goodbye.
Yeah.